Hello everyone, welcome to another Transformers toy review. Today we're going to be taking a look at Covert Agent Ravage, also known as Decepticons Forever Ravage. This is kind of part of the War for Cybertron trilogy line, A little bit cold, so I think maybe just my tongue needs a little bit of warming up. And this one was through kind of Hasbro Pulse. So it's kind of been around for a little while in terms of there's been lots of pictures about, and I think even people in kind of Singapore and places like that, it turned up in a few stores before it was even kind of announced, which is random. So there's probably a few reviews already about on this. Essentially, the character is from the Beast Wars animated cartoon. There's like a few episodes where Ravage turns up and he's basically been reformatted from a Decepticon into a Predacon. He's apparently one of a select few that's been given kind of amnesty after the war and given kind of special privileges. So you kind of see him in this kind of different form, which you see in front of you here. And throughout the series, I think he originally goes into kind of his mission is to sort of kind of like assassinate Megatron. But then, as it turns out, Megatron kind of feeds him a load of info about the golden discs and how he can rewrite what's happened previously. So Ravage then sides with the Predacons unexpectedly. Anyway, I won't spoil how it all ends, but that's what you've got here. Now, the box is pretty cool. I will sort of show you in a bit more detail. But you can see it's kind of like the inside of his ship. So it's just like a cardboard insert, but it looks like he's got his like seat and everything else and a little view out here. And then you've got a little Predacon thing, and it's actually like a little shelf thing, and it's actually for the tape, so you can have the tape looking as if it's kind of coming out of there and then transforming into Ravage. And then I'll just put this off to the side here, and you can see you've got some artwork there of Ravage on the side, the Predacon symbol, and then like a little bit of a bio or a little bit of information about him anyway. And it says, after the Great War, Ravage was one of the Decepticons granted amnesty and reformatted into a Predacon. So what I said, as a covert agent Ravage, he is secretly dispatched to Earth by the Tri-Predacus Council during the Beast Wars. He is tasked with terminating the rogue Predacon called Megatron with extreme prejudice. And then it says, but after the Golden Disc reveals a secret message from the long-dead Megatron Decepticon leader, he realizes where his allegiance lies. Decepticons Forever, which is one of the things he kind of shouts in there. And you can see this is kind of the scene that they're showing on the front there. So you see his seat here, and he's almost like coming out as a tape, transforming into his kind of robot mode, if you like. He does then also have a beast mode. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And then you can take this bit out here. So, you know, you can stand this in here, and I think he can kind of fit in there. So you can have him kind of coming out or like that. I think in the packaging they actually have him like that. Don't know if they don't want to damage this bit here or they want to make it obvious. Mine is like a little bit buckled, but I don't think it makes much difference. So yeah, you can have him kind of coming out like that. He does come, this is like a reissue of Ravage, the G1 version. But instead of stickers, they've gone with Tampo paint across here. So it should be easy to tell from like an original one, I guess. I don't know if there's any other kind of markings or ways to tell it apart. You get his like blasters here, and this guy is obviously nice and easy to transform. You just kind of fold everything out. like that. And you just kind of put his feet wherever you kind of want, really. And he'll kind of roughly kind of stand up. These bits here are kind of die cast, or at least metal, and they've kind of gone with this kind of brush effect here, so they're not like mega shiny, so it does look a little bit older. So I don't know if that's like an intentional thing or not, but I think it looks quite good. You've got these on here, and that is Ravage there. So when you can, this guy doesn't, once you get him standing up, he's fine, but so there you are, and get him off the side here, and then obviously you can bring in your Ravage in here, and you can have him in here if you want to. So you could use this as a little display if you wanted to. I think that's quite good. You potentially have to get something like behind it to complement it. Sorry, because it doesn't quite. It's not quite detail size, so it wouldn't kind of fill out a whole display or anything else like that. But it is pretty neat. I think I will probably keep this. Whether or not I'll put it on display with it or not, I'm not sure. And then you get the Ravage figure himself, who is actually a repaint, like a remold or retool of the Cheetor figure. So I'll just bring this in a little bit. Maybe I will just stand him up on that then, just to show you him. I'll do a bit of a size comparison before I go into everything, but you can see he comes with two blasters, which you can hold in either hand. You can then also take these out, and he's got pegs on the side of his leg where you can peg them in, and they will hold in there like that, and that will then translate through to his beast mode as well. So there you are. So I'm just going to stand him up, and I'm bringing the other figures just as a bit of a size comparison, so you can see where he is and what he looks like alongside those other figures. Let's have that focus. So you've got Cheetor here. So you can see where the kind of similarities are in terms of, you know, the kind of legs and everything else like that. You know, all of this is the same, but there are differences with the molding, with the thigh, this piece here. All of this obviously is completely different. And the arms, there is some similarities in terms of how it folds up, but again, it does actually transform differently. So you've got these two here. You then also, there's the Shadow Panther as well, which I guess you could say it's got the most because of the colour and everything else like that. But again, this one is obviously closer to Cheetor in terms of what it's got. This one is basically just a repaint of Cheetor. Sorry, let's get him standing up properly. Yeah, he's basically he's got like a battle mask on him. So same sort of size, but Ravage is a little bit chunkier because of what they've done with the chest here. And then if I bring in Megatron, just see what those two look like together. So I've had him posed in a certain way, so go. I'll just adjust the camera. So you can see old Ravage is a fair bit smaller than Megatron. I mean, he's nearly half the size, but that is kind of accurate to the show. And then I've got the kind of other Ravage, which is like the third party version, which is a little bit of a chunkier boy. And I mean, this guy is really cool. And in robot mode, you could almost say he's kind of like not quite masterpiece quality, but you know, there's a lot of paint and kind of chrome pieces and things like that. I mean, you've got his feet, which are, you know, claws and things like that, as opposed to just the normal feet. And he's a bit chunky. He's got the metallic thing going on, and also the interchangeable hands and the magnets and everything else like that. But this guy does look absolutely rubbish in beast mode, whereas this guy does kind of carry it off a little bit better, which we'll take a look at. Right, so let's actually take a look at the figure here. So I might just put this in the background because it seems to, the camera seems to struggle with my Transformers curtains in the background there. So right, okay, just going to move the camera a little bit, just to, right, okay. So here we are, got the figure himself in hand, and he's nice. He's got the face is good. I think it's been painted. There isn't a lot of movement though, so you kind of get a little bit of up and down there. You see the eyes are painted this kind of metallic red. And you can see the little pupils in there, and if you can open up the mouth as well, you can see his little teeth there. They're all painted, and even his little tongue. You can see that in there, and he's got a little silver or just off-white kind of nodule on the top there to make him more robot-y, I guess. I'm not really sure. The paint on here, I've got a bit of a kind of blemish there, but not too bad. Predacon symbol on the side here, which is red. I don't know the reason behind that, rather than having it purple. This section is completely different to Cheetor, and it's good. It's kind of, you've got like his kind of pecs here and everything else like that. And it's got almost like a six-pack with paint coming across here and kind of gold. And then the crotch is done nicely with this, again, kind of like greyish. It's got like almost like a pearlescent sort of shine to it, and red on here, which is nice. The arms are pretty much the same as Cheetor. If I just take the gun out, you've got the same kind of articulation that kind of goes, it's more or less all the way through. You just got to twist it past that thing there. You do get like a swivel on here. It feels a little bit tight, so just be careful as you kind of move it around here. And then the elbow is like a double jointed thing to do with transformation that goes up there. And the hands are again exactly the same, and they just rotate around. Unfortunately, you do get that kind of chunky piece here, which is to do with the transformation where it kind of has to fold into the body and become part of the cat. Yeah, you do get waist articulation, so you get that, and that can go all the way around, so that's good. The tail is actually not removable on this one, so it's actually like a piece that just hinges there, so there's no movement in that, so it's just this movement here, but it doesn't actually come off, and there isn't anything else in it. It's like a solid piece. So you've got that. The legs are pretty good actually. So you've got the peg here for the gun. I think they're painted. It's a job to tell, or if it's not, the plastic is done in again that kind of greyish metallic sort of look to it, and you've got like the bronze on top, so it's quite a nice mould for it. So it is a different mould, the top thigh. The legs are pretty much the same as Cheetor and Shadow Panther, I think. Yeah, they're exactly the same in terms of moulding, so they've saved on that piece because that's one piece here. The legs go up to there. They're kind of restricted at the back, so you can only kind of go back to there really. And then you've got a swivel here, which is quite tight. That rotates around. The knee bends back to there, so not the greatest range of motion. And then you've got a kind of tilt or pivot, whatever you want to call it, on his ankle there. And that moves forward and back all the way to the transformation. Then you've got some more kind of pegs where you can kind of use weaponizers and things like that. It is pretty stable. I mean, you could use the tail actually as a stabilizer if you wanted to. And then you've got like a little bit of kind of kibble and stuff on the back and a peg there where you can put another weapon. But yeah, he is pretty stable. You do have to sort of adjust the feet to get him standing up properly and just get him balanced right. Because the feet aren't particularly big on this guy. So you just have to be wary of doing that. It would be nice if we had like a little bit more articulation in the head so you can kind of get him looking up more. At the moment, if you want to see the face properly, you do have to kind of almost like arch it back, put him in a position where you can kind of see him a little bit better. So something like that, I think, works quite well. Transformation is quite cool. It's a little bit different from what we've seen with Cheetah and the rest. So yeah, so what do you do? I think this piece opens up here. So you can see these arm pieces actually kind of fold out kind of towards you here like that. And then this piece is going to like open up like that. The head is then going to move back into there, which is where they've kind of done this piece quite well. Because on the other one, I'll just show you the trans, it just kind of, this bit just goes up like that. And they end up having the cat mode like that. So you've got this great big gap and this kind of hood piece kind of like hanging off. So yeah, in my opinion, they've definitely, Hasbro done this bit a lot better. And then you get the arms here, the legs, all the, you know, paws, whatever you want to call it, out like that. And where it's different is these arms are going to fold in and go through here. Whereas on the original Cheetah, they kind of fold in down at the bottom here. So again, that's a slight variation on the transformation. So you kind of bring them around here. And you want to just fold it all round. And this is where you, it's a little bit tight in here, but you see there's a little peg that goes into there, like that. And then you do the same on the other side. So it's a little bit fiddly. More so when you're doing it on camera and you've got like a tripod thing in front of you. But hopefully you get the idea. Peg that into there. And then it's a case of just moving this up and you're going to fold this into there, so these bits come out through there. So let's try that. There we go. So you can see it's clicked into there and there on that side, and then these bits at the same time kind of come down and peg into that gap in there. So I think I've done it properly on this side where it's pegged in, but then on the other side I haven't quite pegged it in properly, but you kind of get the general gist there, so that's fine. And then the legs are pretty simple, so they're, I would say, the same as before. So you push these into here, that'll then push the legs out. Same on here, like that. And then it's a case of putting this into there like that. And then we're going to adjust that. Kind of got your Jaguar kind of cat mode in here like that. So that's not bad. There is articulation, so you can move the head from one side to the other and up and down. It's nice. And I mentioned the mouth you can open up and down. The legs kind of come out like this, move forward and back. And then you get articulation back, but not a lot forward. And the paws are like on like a ball peg. You move them out to the side. And the same with these ones here. Again, you got the ball joint there, articulation there on the legs, forward and back here and there as well. So yeah, it looks pretty good overall. I can't imagine there's too many people that will have this one posed in this mode, but it's good that you've got that option. And then just as a kind of comparison thing at the end there, you've got Cheetor there, side by side. I would say probably Cheetor looks better, but they've encompassed this mode into it, which I don't think they actually had him transforming into this cat mode in the cartoon. So there is that. And then you can pop on his guns like that, or you can have them facing forward if you want to. But I think on the instructions they have them like that. I'll just double check that as I go through. Yeah, they do have them facing backwards, but you can do whatever you want with them really. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for him. I mean, the way they have his legs is they have them more kind of tucked up, so they have them more like that. So I don't know if that looks better or worse. I always sort of would have him more kind of out like this one, sort of with him having coming out and then back in. But you can have him however you like. Just depends on you really. And then transforming him back is fairly simple, as you can well imagine. It's just a case of moving everything kind of back round. I mean, the feet are super simple to do. Sometimes when you transform it back, you kind of think, oh, does this bit need to be round here like that, or round by the front? But if you have them like this, the best way to remember it is that you don't have to actually swivel them round or change anything on them. That's probably the best way to remember if you're not quite sure how it goes. It does obviously show it in the instructions, but and then push this bit back through like that. And there's a case then of getting hold of the arms and just folding them out like that, nice and simple. Unpeg them, fold them forward like that. These bits are going to just come around and they fill into those gaps there. So again, that's where it's kind of different. And there is like a little peg there, so they do actually peg in. And then this bit here, again, and that pegs into there, so that you should feel it click in like that. And then it's just a case of straightening up the arms and the fists. And then you've got your Beast Wars Ravage. In my opinion, he's a great little toy. He's probably might be tricky to pick up, but if you see him on Hasbro Pulse or anything else like that, I think he's priced around sort of 40 or 50, something like that. Certainly in that kind of price range, I wouldn't want to pay anything over 50 for him. But if you're a Beast Wars fan, he's well worth picking up. If you're not and just into the kind of G1 stuff, I think he's still a quite cool nod to like an updated Ravage. And yeah, it's going to look really good on my little Beast Wars display alongside Kingdom Megatron, I think. I'm still going to keep the third-party version of him. And he's probably going to go alongside another sort of Megatron that I've got. I've got like a Transmetal Megatron, so I'm probably going to have him on display alongside him. And then just quickly as the other Ravage just alongside him. with the Decepticons Forever. This one does have slightly the edge in robot mode with him being bigger, but he is more MP scaled. And also you can have the swappable hand, so you can do the kind of Decepticon salute and stuff like this. But, you know, this one as a retail version is well worth picking up. I love the little cardboard display and everything. And not forgetting you get a little Ravage with him. So, you know, if you wanted to recoup a bit of costs, and you've already got a Ravage, you don't want another one, you could always sell one of these off to someone if you wanted to, as long as you're clear about, you know, which version it is or anything else like that, and you're not pretending it's a original release Ravage or anything else like that. I think you're fine. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Stay safe. Bye bye for now.